I wonder if your soul ever feels like this. I wonder if your insides are ever like this, that you're calm on the outside and you're trying to keep it all together dealing with the people, but inside there's just this rage and torrent of reactions and emotions and worries and stresses. And this affects us, it affects our own sense of peace and well-being, but then it also affects other people, because if there's a storm in us, that tends to impact how we interact with others, and then they react to us badly. Maybe they're irritated, and then what happens is that it just stirs it up even more, and it just gets worse and worse. Now, I'm not going to promise to fix all the problems in your life, but what I am going to offer to you today is just one simple way that you can get a bit more peace in your life. One simple way that you might be able to move a bit closer to your insides feeling like this. Hey, welcome to my channel. My name's Derek, and for the last 3 decades I've been helping people explore faith and relate it to their ordinary life. And in this channel we give tools and tips to help you live a deeper and more meaningful life. So how do we find some sense of inner peace when life outside is so chaotic? You know, when our kids are all over the place, when we've got financial stress or health worries, or stuff's just hitting us left, right and centre, and there's chaos and storms raging around us, how do we get that sense of peace and strength inside? And the problem is how we think peace works and what we think peace is. And when we yearn for peace, inner peace, we imagine it's a bit like a painting I remember seeing of a quiet countryside scene, really idyllic, and the sun's shining and it's really quiet, and the trees are calm and there's flowers and it just looks beautiful, and you just look at it and just go, oh, that'd be lovely. But searching for that sort of peace when everything calm offers us no hope. Let's imagine that one of the storms in your life is your job, and you're getting some bullying at work, and then that's causing you a lot of stress and anxiety. Maybe you're off work stressed with your mental health or whatever it might be. And let's imagine that situation gets fixed. Maybe the bully leaves, or you get a new job or something, and yeah, let's say you get a new job and you get a new boss and they're kind, and you meet the team, it's all lovely, and suddenly it feels like that countryside scene. You're like, it's all calm. How long is that going to last for? Because when you have that calm, then something else goes wrong, doesn't it? Your finances go wrong, or your mum gets dementia, or your kids get into something, and suddenly it's all up in the air. And if you're waiting for that moment or that season when everything's calm, you're going to be waiting a long time. You know, in fact, those seasons and moments of calm and everything feeling right in our world, they're like the commercial break to the chaos, aren't they? They're not actually the norm itself. And the other way some of us try and get to that countryside scene is we try to exert control everything, and try and control our kids and our work and our finances and our health and our eating and this, and we try to exert control everything to make it calm and fixed to be exactly where we want. But all that does is create more pressure and more inner stress. And I don't want to insult you, but actually you're just not that powerful. You might have discovered that already. Well, there is another way, there is another option to us where we can experience peace even when we can't control everything, and even when all our circumstances aren't perfect. It's still possible. And there's a verse in Philippians 4 verse 7 that talks about God's peace, this peace which exceeds human understanding, beyond our grasp. It says it's something that doesn't make sense to us, that we can be in a circumstance that isn't great, that's stormy. You know, maybe our kids struggling at school, or we've got financial issues, or there's real massive health problems, but we can experience a peace inside. And it says, actually, this is not going to make sense to you. And the verse doesn't leave us hanging, actually tells us how to experience this peace. It doesn't make any sense. And even now, it's like, how can that be possible when storms are going on, to be inside as clear and as peaceful as that? Well, this is what it says in Philippians 4 verse 7. It talks about his peace, and it's got 3 parts. Listen to the 3 parts of this sentence. His peace, which guards your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. His peace guards your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. And notice that language, which actually corrects our view of peace as the countryside scene. In fact, I want you to think about a different painting. I want you to imagine this painting that you're looking at, and it's this stormy night, and you look and the storms are raging. You can see the painting, and like the rain's obviously lashing down. There's really strong wind, and you see one of the trees, and there's so much pressure and battering from the storm, it's starting to bend. And as you look closely at that tree, you see on the branch that there's a bird, and the branch is leaning down and the bird's sitting there. And as you look closely, you see that the bird is a mother bird, and the mother bird has a baby bird under her wings. A raging storm, baby bird under the mother's wings. And the peace that God's promises is like that. It doesn't promise to fix all our circumstances, but promises that there's a place where we can be sheltered, that his peace can guard us as long as we stay under the wings, as long as we live in his presence. So it doesn't say fix all your problems, but as you live in Christ Jesus, as you come into the presence of Jesus. And that moment, that experience is available to us at any moment of any time of day. That we've had a horrendous meeting time at work, maybe someone said something and it's causing all sorts of problems. You know, we can go for a 3-minute walk, and actually the portable presence of Jesus can be right there, and we can just think about the idea of his presence and just open ourselves up to him and to experience that peace, that we don't have everything in control, but he does, that we can kind of surrender to him and imagine his presence guarding our hearts and guarding our minds. Now, I know this is not easy. It's really simple to understand, but I know this is not easy. But it's a bit like a child, and a child's had a terrible day at school, and maybe they're feeling insecure, or they had a fight with a friend or something like that, and there's all sorts of stuff, and maybe they're feeling fearful that there's a school bully who's going to catch them after school or whatever. And as the school bell goes and they run out the gates, and they run, and their dad's waiting for them, and they run and they put their hand in his. And in that moment, nothing has actually changed, all right? They've still got problems at school. Maybe the teacher doesn't like them, or they're failing at school, or whatever it might be. But the moment that the child's hand goes into the father's hands, it actually changes their insides. There's almost this sense of peace just washes over them, that it doesn't make any sense, but they just feel safe now. They're still going to have to tackle school tomorrow. They've still got all their problems, but being in the presence of their father changes everything from the inside. And when the inside changes, it helps us deal with the outside. And so I want to invite you to just remember that as you walk into your day to day and into coming days, that as you enter into the storms, I want you to remember that picture and just think at any moment the portable presence of Jesus is there, that you can shelter into his arms and let his peace guard your heart and guard your mind. Anyway, I hope that is helpful to you and gives you a little nudge towards living a deeper, more meaningful life. See you next time.